Let's not quite go to politics right off the bat. Instead, I want to go to one of your favourite people and mine, George Clooney. Now, this bloke is so far up his own backside, it isn't funny. And he, I think, wrote and directed a film a long time ago about a legendary American journalist, Edward R. Murrow. He's now turned it into a play. He's performing in the play. And is it true that at the end of the play, he turns around and just starts lecturing the audience?
Yes. Yes, he's got a lecture for the press in this very difficult era. You know, you might say democracy dies in darkness is the thrust of his message about how the media really needs to step up and not abandon its core ideals now more than ever. And he thinks he's in a position to lecture us, yes, because he played a journalist on TV or on the big screen in a very silly movie called One Fine Day, where he was across from Michelle Pfeiffer. She was really more the star, and he played a reporter for the New York Daily News. That was 30 years ago. I guess he thinks it makes him into an actual journalist or, you know, editor of a newsroom, which he's not. And He goes on 60 Minutes to promote this thing, and they ask him about his Truth to Power op-ed that he did in the New York Times when Biden was dangling by a thread and George Clooney stepped in to cut it. And this is presented to us now as an exercise in true courage, true truth-telling. And really, it took a lot, you know? They got into, like, what made him do it? Like, how did he have it in him to write that op-ed? And the answer was, well, I was raised to value the truth. I was raised to tell the truth, not lies. There are a lot of people in my party who are telling lies.
Happy you did it?
Yeah. I'll make it kind of easy. I was raised to tell the truth. I had seen the president up close for this fundraiser, and I was surprised. And so I feel as if there was a lot of profiles in cowardice in my party through all of that. And I was not proud of that. And I also believed I had to tell the truth.
Now, to say this is revisionist history would miss the entire plot, Paul. He had that fundraiser for Joe Biden on June 15th of 2024, where Joe Biden could barely stand up on the stage. Obama had to rescue him, physically rescue him. We reported on it. We talked about it in this show. Everybody was talking about it who wasn't owned by the Dems, and called purveyors of misinformation. This is why we were accused of deep fakes, cheap fakes by the administration, a line parroted around the media cycles. George Clooney said nothing. Did he come out and say, no, all those reporters and those media folks who are saying, look, he looks like he's really having some infirmity problems are onto something? I've got to be honest. You know, what I saw dovetails with that perfectly, and we need to talk about it. Did he anonymously go to some reporter to say, please print the real story about what happened at that fundraiser? No, he did none of that. What actually happened was June 27th came and they had the presidential debate in which Biden self-immolated and ruined any future chances of remaining the nominee, which I said that night, as you may remember. It was very obvious that he could not go forward. And yet Biden hung on because he just was stubborn. He would not leave. The whole party was in meltdown. The polls came in showing he couldn't win. There was no chance he could win, and that Kamala wouldn't win either. That's what the Democrats were looking at. And it was only at that point that George Clooney, midway into July now, a full month after he had hosted that fundraiser, wrote the op-ed, because at that point he realized the Democrats' chances depended on it. And now, with the help of CBS News and 60 Minutes, it's all rewritten and gift-wrapped into, I was raised to tell the truth. And we need more courageous people like me in my party and in the media. Thank you. And you know, sold, right? The bill of goods sold.